Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be ranking the last 10 palettes that I tried. This is very difficult for me because I have very bad OCD and I don't like making decisions, and I like all of these, but I did it. And there's definitely kind of a theme to all of these. You can definitely tell I've been into cool tones lately. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Colin. I'm a non-binary Latinx scientist and lover of makeup with a soft spot for indie makeup and colorful makeup, which you'll see a decent amount of here today. And I have new content every week, so I'd love to have you subscribe. So for the look I'm wearing today, that video should have gone up yesterday. And that is the new Lethal palette. This is the Night Flower palette from Lethal Cosmetics. Right here, this beautiful, again, cool toned palette. Very much in the mood for cool tones, purples, blues. This is not going to be in the ranking because I literally just tried it for the first time and I haven't used every shade or anything. So I will definitely include this in the next time I rank these and in my everything I tried in March overview that I'll do at the end of the month. Okay, so I do want to preface that I like all of these palettes a lot. I love all of these palettes. I grabbed them, I looked at my channel to make sure, I was like, yeah, these are the last 10, and then I was like, oh, this is gonna be very, very hard. Some of these things I haven't filmed with, and if you would like me to make a video about it, let me know. I can definitely do something. If you have one of these, I haven't filmed with it and you want some inspiration, let me know. I like all of these, so it's mostly like color story that kind of pushed one above another or something like that. And I'll mention as I go through. So the first palette is going to be the Huda Beauty Wild Jaguar palette. So I have a video using this. I used it actually like a couple weeks before I posted that video, but I really like this palette. This is the first time I've tried Huda Beauty. I definitely want to try more. The mattes all worked really nicely. The shimmers were beautiful. There's like a green, there's a gunmetal, the gold is nice. The purples were a little more toppery than I tend to like. I do like a topper, but I like a bright topper, not a dark topper. And these are a little dark to be toppers in my opinion. And that's really pretty, but they did, like, even if just using these two, somehow it ended up pulling kind of purple. So that's why it's in the bottom place. It's just because I wish these purples were a little more opaque, and then I wish these blended together somehow turned purple. Like, it looked like I used the shade and I didn't. So, but I still really liked it and I've used it since, and I really like this palette. Okay, so I just redid my ranking for the next few because I just couldn't, like, ranking them is just too hard. I could do tiers like my friend Nikki Raven does, and I might do that from now on, but then I might end up having just everything in like the top 2 tiers or something. So like, it's not really any different. But this is the Lunar Beauty Eternal Eclipse palette. I love this palette. I've used it a number of times since I got it and posted the video. I really love this. So this came out, this is not a new palette, and actually a bunch of these palettes are not like new releases. I got this in my mystery box and I really love this. The reason it's ranking here is just because it's beautiful, quality is amazing, like 10 out of 10 recommend this. I like the blues. I don't always like gray and blue together. Sometimes I would have liked this was a little more blue, but that's fine. It's that all of these are like, it's meant to be a row of transition shades for different skin tones, and then you've got the gray and the blue and then shimmers. So like, I can use all of these as transition shades, and then I have one kind of deepening up shade and then a sparkly black as my deepest shade. And so I like the sparkly black, but I prefer a matte black. And I wish there was more like clear light, like 2 light shades, 2 medium shades, 2 deep shades or something like that, just so there was, but I appreciate the concept of transition shades in various undertones. So I love it for what it is, but you know, just from my preference, I wish this was like maybe a matte black, or this earthbender shade just went a little darker or something. I don't know, but love this. And so the next palette is going to be Natasha Denona Retro. So I adore this palette, got it in January, and it is one of my favorite Natasha Denona palettes now. So that tells you, like, this ordering is hard for me. The only reason it's a little lower is just because it's a little monochromatic, and the things that ranked higher have a little more versatility in them. So this does have versatility. You've got your like plummy wine shades, you've got kind of like peachier shades here. So it's that peachy wine burgundy color story. There's a couple like cool tone neutrals, like Nude Mauve and Jude and Helio, but it is a little more monochromatic, so that's just why. I like a palette that has a little more versatility in it, because I just do. So that's ranking here. And the next palette, which this is actually was lower, but then I thought about it more, and it is a little more versatile for like, there's more looks you can do, or a wider variety of looks. And that's why I pushed it up a little bit when I just redid it. And then is the Love for Sale palette from House Labs. So I really love this. This is their newest formula. So they released one palette and it was good. I really like it. And then they released, quads and the Stupid Love palette, and they had made some improvements to the formula based on feedback. And then this one is even better. And this one's made in Italy, like Pat and Natasha. And it is an all neutral palette, but there's more variety in this one. So you can see you've got some very warm tone mattes here. You've got some very cool tone mattes. It goes very light to very dark, which is what I like. It's got a matte black and a matte cream. It's got good transition shades, good, colorful, neutral crease shades, like an orange. This one's kind of pink, pinky purple. This one's orange, terracotta. This one's cool toned. Like, you've got a variety. You've got an olive, you've got a like taupe shade, you've got some bronzes, you've got some purpley shades. It's a little more versatile, and I really like this. I really love this palette. This is one of my favorite neutral palettes now. It's really great formula, really great color story. I am sad I slept on this for so long and it took me so long to buy it, but I got it half off, so it was worth the wait. Okay, so the next palette is also one I love. And the reason it's a little lower is just because it is a small palette, and I prefer, my favorite palette size is like 12 to 15 shades. I feel like if you're below 9, you're a little too small and too curated, so there's less versatility. And if you're over 15, over 18, you've got too many shades, and it's hard to deal with. So this is the Royal Peacock palette from Sigil, inspired by Tammy Tenuka. This was their most recent, other than the Black Glove, which I did order, and we'll see if I ever get it because of Russia attacking Ukraine. This is a Russian indie brand. Things aren't leaving the country, so we'll see if the new palette ever comes. So this is the most recent that people have been able to get, and I love this. I love the color story. I love the formula. Sigil has one of the best formulas I've ever tried. So this has two mattes. It has more of a mauve, nude, and a purple, and then it has 4 shimmers. This one is a duochrome, almost multi-chrome. It's very special. And then you've got a couple different bluier shades, like this one's true blue, this one's kind of purple blue, and then a metallic red. This is similar to a red I have from Pat McGrath. Amazing quality, really. So this is amazing quality. It's a really beautiful palette. I love this. I've used it multiple times. The only reason it's like in the middle is just because it's only 6 pan, and with 6 pans and 2 mattes, there's just, so only so much you can do. You're really gonna put like 1 matte in the crease and then pick a shimmer or 2. So that's the only reason it's a little lower. Okay, so the next palette is also a little lower because it's smaller, but it's a little bit bigger and a little more versatile, and that is the Nars Climax palette. So this was limited edition at the end of the year. I don't know, I think it got brought back recently again. This is a 9 pan. This is the first Nars palette I've ever tried, and I love this. I recently went up to Canada for a few days to see some friends, and this was the palette I took because it's so versatile. So this is the color story here. I'm sure a lot of people have seen this. So it's got 4 mattes, 4 shimmers and then like a more satin shimmer that's not as sparkly. And that's why this is ranked a little bit higher, because it's a little more versatile. You've got 2 light shades, which this looks really light in the pan, but actually works, like I can use this. It blends out a little darker, so I can even use it as a soft shade. You've got one that's a little bit darker. You've got this really dark burgundy. You've got a green, love green. You've got a green and a blue shimmer, my 2 favorite colors. You've got like a rose gold and a champagne, and then the more satin shade is kind of a taupey metallic, and it is a perfect one and done shade. Like put this on the lid, blend the edges, maybe put this one on the inner corner if you want something really sparkly right there, but this is beautiful. I adore this formula. This almost ranked higher, but because it's only 9 shadows, I pushed it down just because other things have more options. But this is an ideal 9 pan for me. Because of this, I really wanted to buy their new one, the Summer Unrated that they just announced and launched. And I went to Ulta yesterday, and the employee had no idea what I was talking about, found it in a drawer, pulled it out, and was like, well, I'll make this the sample tester. You can swatch it and stuff. And it didn't swatch as nicely as this. I swatched a handful of shades. A couple of the ones that I was really excited about looked way more dull in person and swatched kind of sheer. And then the mattes seemed less saturated in person than they looked in pictures. So I didn't pick it up. I was like, I really like this, but I don't $60 like it. So I passed for now. But I'm still on the lookout for more like this. Okay, coming up next are the top 4. And I love all of these equally for different reasons. And so the arrangement once again kept switching. But I'm gonna put, the next one is the Odens Eye Hela palette with Angelic and Equus. I love this. I have a 3 looks 1 palette video with this that I did last week. And I love this palette. I've used every shade in this now. It's beautiful. The multi-chrome double-sided and this duochrome river, I love them. These shades almost pushed it at the top. So the reason this isn't at the absolute top is just because I love the greens, I love green, and I wear green pretty regularly. And I love these shades here, but I don't wear pink very often. So these 2 pinks are really beautiful. They work really well. I really liked using them. I just don't gravitate towards pinks that much. So that's the only reason it's a little bit lower. But I think they work perfectly in this, and I love this palette. I adore this palette. This is a 10 out of 10. So these are all 10 out of 10s up here. So actually this whole stack is pretty much 10 out of 10s. So it's just I just don't use pink that much. So it's more of a green palette to me. And then these 2 shades down here, oh, so good. But again, it's just a little less versatile than at least the next one. So the Hela palette and the next palette were kind of tied, and I was like, which one? I love both. Both have different formulas, but very amazing formulas. But this one beat Hela out just a little bit because it's a little more, there's more looks you can get out of it, and that is the Nomad Whistler palette. So this is the one palette in here that I got as PR, and I love this palette. And it's not just because I got it sent to me. I would, I'm always gonna be honest. If I get something sent to me, I'm still gonna review it as if I bought it. But it's just a little more versatile. So I can do a blue look, especially with this blue duochrome that is my favorite shade in the palette. I can do a neutral look. I can do a green look, because the lighting's a little weird because it's been overcast, but it's suddenly sunny. This is a really, really dark green. I can do a red look. There's just more options. So that's why it ranked a little bit higher. I will say Powder Specialist, I think, works best as, this is a duochrome from it's like a white with a pink shift. And I will say this works best as, it's a little drier than the others, so it works best as inner corner or like a face highlight than like over the lid. But for those, it's beautiful. I love all of these. I love the Nomad formula. It's very soft. It's very easily blendable and beginner friendly. So if you were interested in trying color but scared of them being like hard to work with, this Nomad is a great option to try color. I do have a discount code with Nomad. It's in my description box, but it's just Bones, and that'll save you 10%. It's not affiliated. I don't earn any money from that. It's just to save you some. So highly, highly recommend this, especially if you have wanted to dip your toes in color. You've got like blues, greens, a red, but you've also got some neutrals. So it's a good way to try some really great colors, and it's so cute. Okay, so the next two are both not new palettes. They are both older palettes that I got recently, and these are my most used palettes lately. So, and I was torn on which one to rank as the best, so they're kind of tied, but that's just me being indecisive. So the next palette is the Natasha Denona Lila palette. I got this half off recently. It's being discontinued, and I've seen it periodically come back in stock, so I'll try to link it below. I think like Look Fantastic had it, although it was a little bit more money, but it was at Sephora, half off, and I had to get it. I've wanted this palette for a while, kind of like Gold and Metropolis, and then they were like being discontinued and on sale, and I was like, okay, I'm getting it. But this is so beautiful. I really, really love this palette. Again, cool tones. It's not quite purple, but it does have, you know, it has purple and berry tones here. It's got some more neutral shades over here. It's got very cool tone shades right here. I just love this. The formula is great. It's got a really beautiful duochrome right here. And 3 shades from this are in retro. So Helio, Nude Mauve, and Amara are all in retro. So now I have them in a full-size pan and half-size pan. And I like these ones more than the ones in retro. The colors are like just a little different. Like they're not an exact shade for shade. Like it's the same color. Like it's the same shade, but they're not identical. They're very close, but they're not identical. And I actually like these ones more. So that's why this one had to be at the top. And then the last palette is one that I haven't shown on my channel at all. And it was a gift. So to celebrate hitting 500 subscribers, a friend of mine sent this to me. I don't know if they want to be mentioned or not. And now I'm at almost 700. But this is the Pat McGrath holiday palette from 2 years ago. So Celestial Divinity is this one. Celestial Odyssey was the one from this last holiday. So holiday 2021. So this is holiday 2020. So Pat recently brought this back. No one was expecting that. And I was like, oh, I was just talking about how I'm sad I missed that because I started buying Pat after. And my friend bought it for me and sent it to me with a congrats on 500 subscribers, which was an overly generous present. But this is so beautiful. So I really, really love the Pat McGrath formula. I think it's worth every penny, especially if you get it on sale, which is always best. But this is so beautiful. So there's lots of videos out there. I haven't done any videos with this. I've just been playing with it on the side. If anybody would like to see videos with this, let me know. But this is, for anybody who doesn't know, this was holiday 2020, and it was these 6 shades, and these 6 shades were her Star Wars palettes from a few years ago, and then she made these 6 to complement that and expand in. And this leans very purple, like a lot of the stuff here, including the new Lethal palette. But the reason this eked out a little bit higher than Natasha Denona or any of the others is because, one, the formula is amazing, but also just like this duochrome is a little more shifty than the one in Lila. It's got a really beautiful olivey gold green, which is my favorite color other than blue. It's the purples here are like this one has like this really beautiful pink sparkle. This one is another duochrome that's like purple to pink. This is another duochrome here that's like red to copper. So it's got multiple duochromes, multiple sparkly shades, and it's just, the quality is just unmatched by most things. So that's why this had to be at the top. It's just, I do think there's only 3 mattes, which I don't love, and It's this bright pink, this darker pink, and this brown, but the brown works well enough for me to like blend the edges of a metallic, so it works. It's just so pretty. I'm so happy I finally have this. But just the variety of looks you can do. This is like max how many shades I like in a palette. And there's just so many looks you can do with this that's why it had to be at the top. So I love this, and I am so grateful and still shocked that I got it as a present from someone. So that's my ranking. Let me know what you think in the comments below, if you would rank these any differently. I like them all, so I just want to see what other people's like top 3 would be. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in my next video.